is a Bramble Jam podcast.
Welcome to Girls Gone Hallmark, a Hallmark review podcast. I'm Megan, and I'm a longtime Hallmark fan.
I'm Wendy. I'm a former Hallmark hater.
It's time for our first mailbag of the holiday season. It has been a little bit of time since we've done a mailbag episode, but we're back with your thoughts on some recent Hallmark offerings. If you want to keep up with all of us, make sure you're following us on Instagram. We are Girls Gone Hallmark. We are Girls Gone Hallmark on TikTok. And if you want to participate in a future mailbag episode, we'd love to produce these weekly during the holiday season. So the best way to do that is email us, girlsgonehallmark@gmail.com, or you can leave us a voice memo. And our phone number is 949-329-8090.
Hey, if you want to join our Facebook group, we have one. It's called Girls Gone Hallmark in Facebook groups. What you find there is just a bunch of people who watch these movies. And if you're looking to just chat with somebody in real time, they're there.
Yeah.
I mean, we try to go in there too. I try to go there.
Me too.
It's just busy. But yes, come join us. Girls Gone Hallmark in Facebook groups.
Well, we have a lot to talk about this episode. We are going to talk about Finding Mr. Christmas, Merry Christmas, Ted Cooper, Christmas Angel Match, Haul Out the Halloween, even an update on a mystery franchise we've been wondering about for a very long time.
Have you seen our crash out on Instagram? Maybe you have.
Let's start with Finding Mr. Christmas.
Okay.
I'm curious about the numbers for this show. I'm curious, Jonathan Bennett has been promoting it full-time on Instagram and creating incredible content. The reels are reeling over there. Please watch this show. Please listen to our recaps. Just a couple comments pulled from the first impression post on our Instagram. Sydney from Merry Movie Club says, Team Craig after episode 1. I feel like he crushed both challenges.
So she's talking about the festive face-off and the ski meet cute challenge. Yeah, Craig's great.
Craig's great.
They're all great.
Yeah, you need to listen to our recaps because we're having a really hard time letting them go each week.
Yeah, and while I want to point out the obvious sometimes of oh yeah, maybe so-and-so isn't that great of an actor or whatever, it still hurts my heart.
Yeah, they're laying it on the line.
I'm invested. Courtney on Instagram writes about Finding Mr. Christmas. She says, it's so good. Rustin, Davy, and Drake were early favorites in our house. The choice to make the guys ski was diabolical and hilarious. My girls and I were howling when Drake fell. All of the guys seemed sweet, perfect for Hallmark. Rustin, Marcus, and Davy are my favorites, but Rustin did the best job. Gabriel got lucky.
Hot takes. And finally, Elizabeth on Instagram says, my first impression is that it's fun. I like the two judges commenting on the guys trying to act and ski. Very funny. Got to support Robbie from West Springfield, Massachusetts, because I'm a Boston girl.
Love that. One of my favorite parts of the show is kind of the commentary that Jonathan Bennett and Melissa give.
Yeah.
I actually really would love to hear concrete feedback from them in terms of what the guys should do better.
Oh, I see.
Acting. I want to hear acting advice.
Right. Because when we see them in the eliminations, they give a brief, the judges thought that you did X, Y, and Z, but you could have improved here. Are they expanding on that more?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I think that could be great where they sit down and they're like, look, this is where we didn't connect with you. So let's work on that.
Let's move on to Ted Cooper. Merry Christmas, Ted Cooper. Smash hit for Hallmark.
Yeah.
You said Sleepy Kitty Paw reported on Blue Sky that it drew in over 1 million live viewers.
Over 1.2 million live viewers. Did really well. It's really hard to compare year-over-year numbers because the number of cable viewers is dropping. But I think anything over that million mark is still doing quite well. I'm not surprised. This was and pre-Halloween.
Yeah.
Set the bar very high, I think.
I think so too. Beth Ann on Facebook wrote, Merry Christmas, Ted Cooper could do no wrong for me. Is it because I'm a Bob Buck fan who would watch him even sit in silence and blink for 84 minutes? Maybe, but I can't help it. The movie really was everything I want in a Hallmark movie. My only critique is that when he asked her out in ASL, she didn't yank him by the collar and lay a big fat kiss on him. This will no doubt be my number one for the year, maybe my number one of all time. So in summary, yeah, I guess I liked it okay.
I wonder if there's a movie that can knock this out of first place for us as well for the holidays.
I have a question for you.
Uh-huh.
Would you like to see a Ted Cooper sequel?
Oh, what's the story there?
I don't know, but
I
just love I love the character of Ted Cooper so much. Ted Cooper could be a sitcom, a Thursday night sitcom for me.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Hallmark's first sitcom?
I just freaking love the character so much.
Yeah, I love the character. I love his relationship with Hope. I loved a lot of the on-screen, like bring back Brendan Penny. I'm not opposed. Lisa emailed us, I just listened to your review of Merry Christmas, Ted Cooper. Of course, as usual, it was dead on. Thanks, Lisa. I did want to point out that for me, I was a little miffed with Kim's character when she got mad because he didn't get upset. I agree with you about him advocating for himself, but I felt like she was just looking for an out. I also found it very interesting how she told him that she tended to wind up with guys who were closed off and didn't open up. Then he opened up totally to her about his mom leaving and about how that made him such a people pleaser. So I felt like her getting upset about him not having a stronger reaction to the classic misunderstanding was more about her trying to protect herself and dump him before anything could go wrong. This movie was such a winner on so many levels, just like you said. Robert Buckley, not Jr., is the total package. And I love how sometimes when he smiles, his smile is crooked and other times it's not. My husband and I both think he looks like Scott Speedman.
Oh, he does.
I'd love to see those two play brothers in a Hallmark movie. I also love how you guys always talk about the writing and directing. I've never paid attention to that, and it's good information to have.
There's a lot to unpack here, if I may.
Please.
I'm going to start backwards. Thank you for noticing the amount of work that we put into it to talk about the writers and directors of these movies. And I think going in 5 years ago when we were doing this, we were not covering that stuff.
No.
But what I have come to love from so many of these movies, I go, oh, this is a Russell Heinlein movie. I'm in. You know, like you start to know like who directed it, who wrote it, like those start to become your favorites almost as much as the actors who are portraying the characters. So I'm so glad you like that information. The second thing is I think Scott Speedman is busy on Grey's Anatomy, is he not?
Oh, good question. I don't know.
Scott Speedman was in Felicity.
Is he on Grey's Anatomy right now?
I thought it was on Grey's.
Quite possibly.
I could be wrong, but I love me a Scott Speedman. I would love Scott Speedman on Hallmark.
Weren't you Team Ben?
Oh, yeah, I was Team Ben, definitely. But it was a push and pull because I like Noel, too.
Sure.
I just watched that show, Felicity, last summer. I like rewatched all 4 seasons of it. I didn't love it as much as I loved it when I was in my early 20s, but it's still really good. The music.
That's because you have a TV watching brain made for streaming these days, I think.
Correct. Yes. That show was not bingeable by any means. By any means. Okay, now let's talk about Kim's character, Hope. I, too, found Hope a little unlikable in this scene.
Yes.
And I struggle with that. It has sat with me since I've watched this movie. And look, people have emotional baggage, right? Yeah. And I think it's interesting here, Lisa's comment about, because I didn't really put this together, but Hope's history with dating men who are closed off is very interesting. So she was bringing a lot of her stuff
exactly
to the conversation here. They were just a little bit of a miss, but she really tried to villainize Ted in this moment. I thought Ted was the wrong guy, or not the wrong guy, but Ted was wrong in the situation.
Yeah.
Equal in my mind now.
Yeah.
It was equal.
You think she's coming at that from a place of I've been disappointed by guys. I can't fully trust that you really are this way.
Perhaps, yeah.
But look, I would appreciate it when Sydney just laid it out for her. She's like, oh no, a good looking guy who's happy all the time.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? You're complaining about nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really interested. I would love to chat with Russell about this, like this particular scene, like when he wrote it, like how he got there, what was, because, sometimes when you're storytelling, it doesn't always.
Yeah, and other pieces we didn't get to see.
Yeah, exactly. Still a great movie. A great movie.
A quick little note from Lisa regarding podcast ads, which I thought was funny. We've talked about this on social media. We haven't really talked about it here. Something worth noting, when you hear ads on our podcast, they're different for everybody. They're location-based for the most part. Mm-hmm. And so Wendy and I don't hear the same ads. I'm not going to hear the same ads as someone in another state or even another city, really. Lisa emailed, in the past, I've heard you mention on the podcast that ads will be tailored to your location. Well, this is hilarious. I travel almost every week for my job. This week, I'm in the middle of nowhere, Georgia. Imagine my confusion when I started hearing ads on your podcast from Ireland. I was like, huh? Well, then I remembered that I'm not far from a town in Georgia called Dublin. So somehow your podcast thinks I'm in Dublin, Ireland. I'm getting to listen to exotic Irish commercials while in the middle of nowhere, Georgia. I love it.
Small correction. It's not our podcast thinks, it's the advertising company that buys space on the podcast thinks that you're in Dublin, Ireland.
Yes, we have zero control over that.
No control over it.
Also, just as an aside, if you ever hear an ad that you feel like is super out of character with who you know us to be, please email us because we work really hard to make sure that that does not reoccur.
Yes.
Let's take a quick break and we're going to come back to talk Christmas Angel Match.
We're back with an email from Lisa regarding the movie Christmas Angel Match from opening weekend. She says, I have to say you guys brought me down a little, pointing out all of the unanswered questions. None of those things even occurred to me, LOL. I thought it was absolutely awesome. I was sad to see that so many gave up on it so quickly. She's talking about people gave up on the movie quickly, right? I was thoroughly entertained. I also loved how it made me think about what I might be missing out on when I'm on my phone. I'm happily married, so not love. Ha 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 ha. I loved this movie.
I did too.
And I am disappointed to see people be like, oh, it didn't catch me or it didn't grab me and I turned it off. Like, I do think there was a worthwhile message in this movie, especially when it comes to like, we live in a world that's distracted and fast paced and we're missing moments around us. I thought that was a beautiful message.
Yeah, like we talked about irony in this review. Did we talk about the irony of not giving this movie a full chance because you weren't grabbed at the beginning? Mm-hmm. Look, I'm all for, abandon the movie, abandon the book if it's not for you. I was surprised by some of the feedback about this movie because we overall really enjoyed it.
We did enjoy it. Also, this isn't in our notes, but did you catch Benjamin Ayers posted the other day about the Romance University merch in the background of the scene? And we had did the same thing like a couple days prior to that. I think that's fun. He gave us a little wink and a nod in the DMs about it, but yeah, that's what I love about this podcast is doing the did you see that and like finding these things. And it feels almost like it was planted there for us to find it.
Oh, for sure. Oh, 100%. That was definitely for the alumni.
Yeah, for sure.
Linda, in regards to Christmas Angel Match, sends an email that says, hi, I enjoyed this story, especially that the angels matched the elderly couple as a byproduct of trying to match the young ones. We didn't really talk about that a lot in the episode.
We didn't.
I loved the angel costumes, especially the Christmas ones on Earth. I agree the costume game was strong. However, I thought the ending was weird. Would a couple stop at chaste kisses? Seems very strange for angelic behavior. I think a better ending would have been for Gabriel to grant them a life as people on Earth until they died, and then they could return to heaven as angels. I have to admit, I didn't fully understand the ending. I don't know what's happening there.
Do you like this scenario that Linda has presented?
Sure.
That Gabriel says, now you guys get to live in real time on Earth.
Yeah, you get to experience love and snowball fights.
Yeah, all those things that the Megan Ori character, but she was like, I've never had hot cocoa. She doesn't partake in the human worldly things, right?
Sure.
So that would have been cool to connect that in that way.
And I also wonder if that's the conclusion we were supposed to have drawn.
Perhaps.
When Gabriel does his magic and all of a sudden they're in new clothing.
Yeah, maybe.
And he disappears?
Sometimes we need it spelled out for us.
I think it was unclear to a lot of people.
Okay.
We got a message regarding Haul Out the Halloween from Heather, who says, "Hi, girls. I have some hopefully good news. I went to the Hallmark event in Nashville last week and talked to Wes about the ending of Haul Out the Halloween and the possibility for a fourth. He said it is being written, but he's not sure it will be picked up yet. He said they would travel all the way to Norway and there would be a baby."
I have a couple of thoughts. I do wonder if McLean Nelson is writing a fourth movie. I don't know how. We talked about this in our review, that the extended cast in this movie is what partly makes it so great.
100%. I refuse to believe there's a world in which there's a fourth movie in which the extended cast isn't involved. Mm-hmm. Even off of Evergreen Lane, which makes me nervous.
Yeah.
Look, I would absolutely watch it. I was head over heels for Haul Out the Halloween. It was my favorite of the three.
Same.
We have a voicemail from Era regarding the Chicken Sisters. It's still October, y'all. I know some people are purists and they will not go in on Christmas movies until after Halloween.
Hi, Megan and Wendy. This is Era. I am leaving a follow-up voicemail about Chicken Sisters. I know I said I was really loving it a couple weeks ago, and I'm a little bit behind. I just finished the last 2 episodes, and I just have to say, what a big disappointment. And my big disappointment is in Frank Jr. I am so sad to see he had a redemption arc. I wanted him to go full villain. I wanted him to steal that chicken recipe and just go hog wild and get dragged to court to get sued, or I don't know, something. I'm just so disappointed to see him have a change of heart. I wanted to see him turn to the dark side. I still enjoyed this season overall, but I just thought the last 2 episodes were super anticlimactic and just kind of boring. All right, girls. Well, looking forward to another Mailbag episode. Have a great day. Bye.
I know you have a lot to say.
I'm shook.
Because I have listened to your reviews, and I think you thought this season ended strong.
Yes, the final 2 episodes were great, in my opinion. We did do a wrap-up episode after the season with Erin Shea, and she came back. She had joined us on a recap earlier in the season, and she came back to wrap up the season, and she and I talked about our thoughts on the season overall, and really we were on the same page. So let's talk about the Frank Jr. of it all. Mm-hmm. All season long I said over and over and over again, I don't want a redemption arc. Don't try and make me like him.
Right.
And then they did it in a way where I found it believable. Mm. He took accountability, and I think it makes sense for these people to live in a place where they can be cordial with each other, where they can live and work and they have a family, and that's a better solution. But I like Era's point of view of, well, now who's the villain going to be?
Yeah, you need a villain, right?
We do need a villain. And, I think we're pointing, Lachlan Monroe, if season 3 happens, maybe our villain in the form of our mayor. And I really did find the penultimate episode was a tornado.
Right.
That was very exciting.
But it's not the tornado. It was that Nancy pulls herself up from the bootstraps and steps into this superwoman role, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and she's all over town saving everybody.
Yeah, she comes. Look, guys, I didn't even watch it. She comes in because if I recall, season 1, Nancy drove me crazy because Nancy just let these men walk all over her, and then finally she has her own redemption arc.
Yeah.
And that's what we got in the last 2 episodes of season 2, correct?
Absolutely. I mean, Nancy, this whole season is about Nancy finding her own voice and then steps into that in the end. And then I thought the final episode, we get the wedding, which I thought was beautifully done. We get some closure on the destruction of Mimi's. Mm-hmm. There's a lot there. So I'm sorry that you didn't like the end, Era. That makes me a little bit sad. I hate it when a series doesn't land for me. So
for sure. Now, I'm trying to remember, we had a recent conversation with somebody. Had they confirmed or denied if the Chicken Sisters was coming back yet? Was it still undecided?
We there's no official word as of the recording of this episode. Haven't heard anything.
What do you think they're going to do?
I really don't know. I feel like I just am surprised every day by decisions that are made behind the scenes on projects that are beloved by the fans.
Let's talk about that.
We had like a full-blown crash out this week on multiple platforms.
100%.
Starting with, in the news and notes of Merry Christmas, Ted Cooper, we were talking about Megan Heffern, who was in The Cases of Mystery Lane.
Right.
And I casually dropped, I heard that had been canceled.
I'm still hurt about it.
Me too. Do you understand now? Like, imagine you're a Mystery 101er.
I can sort of get it. Mystery 101 was like 7 movies and you fall in love with these characters. They had a little time to like really like grow on you.
Yeah.
The Cases of Mystery Lane was just good entertainment.
Yeah.
And yes, I liked the characters, but I want to play in that world some more. For me, I thought this is so fun. It's still Hallmark. It's a little unhinged.
Yeah. It's the funniest of the mystery series.
And I think maybe that might be the problem is Hallmark is like, oh, mysteries can't be funny. I don't know. Maybe that's not what they're thinking. Maybe they're like, it's not a great return on investment. I don't know. But as a fan, I'm telling you, Hallmark, this is a bad move.
Well, what was funny was where I had seen it was a comment on a post that was over a month old. Like I went back to dig and I was like, oh, this is an old post.
It was from summertime?
It was from September.
Okay, granted, we had a lot of stuff going on.
Oh, yes. Did you hear Travis and Taylor got engaged? Like, breaking news. You posted a promo for the Ted Cooper episode and you were like, just learned the Case of Mystery Lane had been canceled. And then people came into the DMs like, what?
One that I read that made me laugh out loud. She was like, this is my favorite. We ride at dawn.
Yes.
And I was like, yes.
Well, then I felt better because I was like, okay, when I looked back at this post where I had originally seen this comment from Paul Campbell saying we've been canceled, I was like, oh, this was from September. Everyone must know this. Like you said, sometimes we miss stuff. We missed it. Well, then I realized we weren't the only ones. So then I make this video that's like, yo, Cases of Mystery Lane is canceled. Confirmed. What is happening? And we heard from a ton of people involved with the show, a lot of fans of the show, expressing shock and dismay. Someone sent us a video from May of Matt Hamilton discussing the cancellation. They said, did you see this? And I said, in fact, we did not. Fortunately, they hadn't seen it either. They did a deep dive after our post. Amy Garcia commented on our reel, thank you for this post. I had such a blast working with Paul Campbell, and I'll miss Alden and Birdie's shenanigans.
This is what blows my mind. We were in Kansas City last year. Amy Garcia was there. Amy Garcia does a lot of work outside of the network, but I believe the only work she's done for Hallmark is Cases.
And she was front and center at Kansas City.
Center in Kansas City, and then like,
poof.
What?
I know. And she was so lovely. I remember some of the things she said. She fully embodied what Hallmark was about with her comments. Mm-hmm. This is a loss. I'm hurt by it. It's a miss to not have given this franchise more room to groove. Did you just have a flash of Paul Campbell with his shirt unbuttoned down to his belly button doing the groove when he's doing the dance?
It's my favorite scene from the second movie.
I know.
Where he's like salsaing or whatever. It's so freaking hilarious.
I know.
I just don't understand. Part of me feels like the Mystery 101 community, like mad about it and like calling for a reboot for it. And I'm like, is that going to work? And then the other part of me is like, we need to knock on some doors in Kansas City with pitchforks and fire and be like, the case
we ride at dawn.
We ride at dawn.
Uh-huh.
Let's be change makers. I think we need to get in Hallmark's ear that this show needs to come back. This movie series needs to come back.
Let's be change makers.
Here's the other thing. I know there's a lot of uncertainty in terms of like mysteries, right?
Yeah.
The Mystery Channel and some of the franchises, like we haven't heard from Curious Cater all year long.
I know.
But then you have some other franchises that are still continuing to make movies. And I'm like, well, maybe we sunset some of those.
Those are spicy hot takes.
I didn't name names.
I know.
Draw your own conclusions. But this was so special.
I agree. It was special.
Movie, so special. Matt Hamilton is funny. Paul Campbell is funny. Amy Garcia was great in it. Megan Heffron was in it. I'm mad.
Me too. Me too. We received a review of our podcast that is mailbag adjacent, and I'd like to read it.
Okay.
It's from Beth, who says, just listen to your reviews of Under the Autumn Moon and All of My Heart. Wendy nailed the first one. I'm with her all the way, though I'd have given it 2 stars. Under the Autumn Moon is...
Oh, the Jesse Schramm with the guy who was such a jerk to her character. Yeah.
She says, I avoid that movie whenever it's on. And in your spare time, you should watch the first All of My Heart. It's so much better. And no need to apologize for whining. It made me laugh out loud on my walk today. Keep up the fabulous work.
All of My Heart was the Brennan Elliott, Lacey Chabert sequel that we watched. We should watch the first one.
Correct.
Okay, I'm going to put it on my to-do list. Next fall. No, I don't. I mean, there are downtime.
Of course.
You know, and there's always some time in the year where we try to fill the schedule with fan favorite reviews. So
yeah.
We're going to have to go back, I think, and tackle that one. I just had a thought. Is Niall Mater in a Christmas movie this year?
Yes. Yes, he is. I think. I'm almost positive. He is with Autumn Reeser, and we met in December.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to that movie. That's right. It's hard to remember, like, when at this stage of the game.
Sure, I know.
I want to bring up just a quick topic that you and I texted about a little bit yesterday. And this is super not mailbag. But have you noticed a trend in the new Christmas movies of some fresher faces?
Well, you said that. Do you mean supporting characters?
Yeah, supporting characters who may down the line become lead characters.
I think the Angel movie.
The Angel movie is a good one. I don't have the names of the actors in front of me right now, but the gal that played an angel too, who was real cute.
I know who you're talking about. Her blonde angel friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see her coming up the ranks.
Sure.
This weekend's movie,
Christmas on Duty.
we have Janelle Parrish,
Yeah.
who was like a staple, right? We have like a solid Hallmark
Yes.
actor. And then opposite of her, we have this guy named Parker Young.
Yeah.
Hallmark debut. But he's worked in a lot of other things. 911 Lone Star, A Million Little Things, Imposters. So, but first on Hallmark in a lead role.
Yeah, same thing, right, with the Bills movie. The male co-star
Yes.
is a Hallmark debut.
Exactly. And so if we rewind it back to the end of last year, the very beginning of this year, there's a lot of turmoil at Hallmark about people in charge, and there was a lot of commentary about ages of actors and casting and so on and so forth. And so I wonder, are they moving towards finding fresher faces for Hallmark?
Yeah, is this a reaction to that?
Yeah, I wonder.
I don't know how close of attention I've paid to the level of fresh faces we get in our movies, but there's definitely people who are missing.
There's definitely people missing.
And so that's hard. I like when we get new people who I'm excited about.
Yeah, me too.
But I also get really invested in my faves.
Totally.
Which is one of the things I think Hallmark does best.
But don't you think there's room for both?
Sure. Yes. But then I get protective of my old guys. I'm like, well, I don't want my faves to get bumped.
Yeah, me neither.
Especially as someone who is not a fresh face myself. You're going to replace me?
Fresher podcast takes.
I mean, I don't think the Gen Zers are coming for this job quite yet.
I don't know. I see Instagrammers who have better followers than us talking about the same content. So I don't know.
Follow us on Instagram. We are Girls Gone Hallmark. And thank you for listening to this episode of Girls Gone Hallmark, a Bramble Jam podcast. We'll be back next time with more Hallmark reviews. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, friends, before we go, just a quick heads up. You're about to hear some ads. These little gems help us keep the show running and the Hallmark love flowing. So do with that info what you will. Grab a snack, hit the skip button, or maybe, just maybe, listen in and discover your new favorite product. Bye.